Let's turn our focus to your view on the recent regulatory moves. For example, risk weight being tightened for NBFCs. Then some other moves by the Reserve Bank of India to ensure that sort of unsecured credit growth and risky practices don't happen. What do you think is the rationale behind the RBI's moves in this regard, and what kind of downstream impact do you see, Mr. Khara?
Well, I would say that these steps were thought in and taken keeping in mind that there should be the healthy growth of the financial sector. And with that in mind, the unbridled growth which was seen in terms of unsecured credit, which was as high as about 30%, it was perceived to be very unusual. And also, I think the RBI's effort is a very well guarded effort because they always ensure that the system should not have any challenges. So in this particular situation, they were actually concerned about low value credit, which was less than 50,000 rupees. And essentially it was done without any credit assessment. So these kind of things eventually show up in terms of the stress in the system. So I think it was a timely step taken by Reserve Bank of India in terms of ensuring that the unsecured credit should grow in an orderly manner. And also, when it comes to the risk-weighted assets for the NBFCs, essentially to ensure that the cost of credit should be realistic, which should actually capture the credit risk premium also. So this is something which was done with that intention in mind. So I would support the steps taken by RBI and for ensuring that there should be orderly growth in the banking system as far as the credit is concerned.
On the bit about 50,000 unsecured credit that you just mentioned, Mr. Khara, one of the reasons that is being ascribed to the growth is the partnership of many banks and non-banking financial companies with fintechs, and they going ahead in terms of trying to create a market share and perhaps not being able to follow all the best principles. Is that one of the reasons, or is it a combination with the demand of a certain kind?
No, actually, the aspiration of the growing middle class is a reality in India. Availability of cheap credit at times can push the people into the debt trap. What you mentioned perhaps holds good also, but beyond that, irrespective of the players, equally important is to ensure that those who borrow, they should have the ability to repay. And I think if at all this golden principle is followed, it will lead to a healthy growth in the credit, and also at the same time, it will also improve the living standards of the common man.
Was the RBI trying to prevent a repeat of a subprime loan crisis?
I think it is a little more far-fetched. I would say that, yes, as I mentioned, that the financial system had the lessons to learn from the past. So those were the indications, but perhaps we are not into that kind of a situation.
So comparison is not valid of that kind.